Welcome to another episode of My Awesome Podcast. I am Salim, and this is Mike. We have a lot to talk about, so let's just get into it.
Okay. The first thing I'd like to start is with this video. This is something I've been following for a little while, but I hadn't heard about it in years, and now I'm starting to think it's gotten way out of hand. You'll see.
Have you seen these hippos in Colombia? Hippos don't naturally live in Colombia, but in the 1980s, the infamous drug lord Pablo Escobar imported 4 hippos from Africa for his private zoo. I visited these guys a few years ago for an episode of Vox Borders, and they're cute, but very dangerous. They've now proliferated, and there's 165 of them, and it's becoming a massive problem. Last year, a man was attacked by one of these hippos, and the government finally is deciding that they have to take real action. They were super hesitant to just shoot these hippos for obvious reasons, but now they have decided they have to at least a few of them. They also are trying to sterilize them, which seems like a good idea, but I talked to the guy who actually does this, and he's like, it's way harder than you think to sterilize a 4,000-pound mammal. But they gotta do something, because if they don't, estimates say that there's gonna be over 1,000 of these hippos roaming around Colombia by 2035. I've been following this story for years, and I'm going to keep following it because it's quite interesting to me. If you want to better understand current events and international news,
Wow.
Yeah. So I get their stance on let's not shoot them. I think the way our society works right now, they'd like to look for a better answer.
Yeah.
But just like he said, let's talk about the logistics of sterilizing a 4,000-pound animal.
Yeah, seriously.
Also, hippos are part of the, what do they call them? The big 5 from Africa, the 5 most dangerous animals?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I believe that they're the most dangerous out of all of the big 5. So the issue with that is that you're not only messing with an animal that weighs 4,000 pounds, but you're also messing with an animal that is very, very territorial and dangerous. Now, the deal is he said 1980, but I've done a little bit more research on it, and it looks like it was in the late 70s, and he brought 4 of them. Now, as of... and I've got it somewhere here. I want to say as of like 2019, I think they thought there was like 100, but now there's like, what did he say?
165?
Yeah. And I heard estimates as high as if they don't do something by, I think 2035, there could be as many as 1,000.
Yeah.
Now, because hippos aren't native to there, they're kind of an invasive species. They're not something that's supposed to be there.
Yeah.
So the problem is they don't have like anything to keep them in check. There's no predators or anything.
Yeah.
So I feel bad to say this, but I feel like at this point, you got to get rid of them because they are, well, there are other videos of them like in towns. I mean, they saw a little bit right there, but but it's bad.
Yeah, it seems crazy. So, excuse me. So I'm going to jump real quick to what we were talking about a little bit on one of our previous videos, and it's the option out there to use these as a food source.
Oh, I don't know about that. That's interesting. I don't know. And I think if they do decide to kill them, I think that, they shouldn't just be wasted.
Yeah.
I mean, in the southern United States, there are several states that have a hog problem, and hogs aren't, they're not indigenous to North America.
Yeah.
They were brought over, I think, in the 1600s. And now there's like thousands and thousands and thousands of them.
Yeah.
They're super dangerous. They screw up farms. They attack livestock, a bunch of things.
Yeah.
And so it's just an all-out, like, us against them. I mean, there's no hunting season for wild hogs like in Louisiana.
Right.
You go get... I believe you go get a permit for how many you think you can get, and then you go out and you get them.
Oh, okay.
And then I think you have to turn that in so that they have some type of idea, some type of count to keep track of how many have been killed. But they're out of control, and I think the government would just assume wipe them out.
Right.
But they can't because they're just out of control. And I feel like that even though the number is pretty big, they're at a number where they could do something.
Right.
And if we screw around and we act like, well, they're a living thing and blah, 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 and we should just respect that. No, they were taken out of their environment and they were let loose. So the deal is they were originally in a zoo, but then when he was arrested, they were allowed to roam free on his abandoned estate.
Oh, okay. So
And then because of that, because there was nobody there taking care of them, they said run free. They ballooned up to this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what, 40 years later.
Yeah. Wow. That is nuts. Yeah. I'm surprised that, you know, I don't know if you can eat hippo, but I'm, you know, and plus, I mean, I guess that's just a lot. Like, even if you can, like, how many do you need? You know, 'cause that seems crazy. But yeah, I mean, that is going to be a huge problem. And actually, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to get it in time. I don't know if they're going to. I feel like this is just going to get out of control.
Yeah, I don't have the solution, but I will say something should be done sooner rather than later, or they're going to end up with a bigger problem. I did just Google it, and yes, people can eat hippo. Evidently they're eaten as a delicacy. I don't know where in the world they're eaten. Maybe some African country because they're native to the African continent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of anyone eating them. I don't know if there's an option to, like, if zoos want them or something. But yeah, and I understand, like, the whole. I mean, how do you even sterilize something like that? You're gonna have to bring in construction equipment to move 4,000 pounds.
Yeah.
That's like what a car weighs.
Yeah. Yeah. That is yikes.
Yeah, and then I'm you know, I'm not a veterinarian, or what would you call it, like a zoologist or something. What does it take to knock out something like that?
Yeah. You're going to need a huge tranquilizer.
And I feel like the way tranquilizers work, because they don't work like they work in the movies where you get shot and they fall over.
Yeah.
They get drowsy, and I think sometimes I've seen in the past on, like, documentaries when they do it to, like, lions and things like that, is right before they start to go out, it's like they're really wasted, and then they get scared, and then they get dangerous.
Yeah.
So if you're close enough to hit it with a dart, that can't. If a 4,000 pound thing tried to attack you, even in being in a vehicle, that could be very dangerous.
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw it, and I've known about this for a little while. I didn't know it was in the hundreds. But when I saw this video, I just thought, that's incredible.
Yeah. I'm surprised. I mean, I guess it wouldn't necessarily make, like, major news, but that is something that that's very interesting. And if it's gone on for this long, I don't know. I don't feel like it's going to be taken seriously or anything's going to happen. So I think those numbers are just going to climb.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the last thing, I did look it up too, and it says, like, the taste of hippo is mild, less than lamb, but more than beef.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, you know, maybe if they've got, like, I'm thinking like I know down south that there are tours where you can go and hunt wild hog.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, they don't just leave them there. They gather them, they process them, and they give them to, like, food banks.
Yeah.
So they're getting fresh meat every day.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I've eaten wild hog. And actually, last time I had it was actually in Epcot Center in Disney World in the Italian restaurant. And it was delicious.
Yeah.
It was served with some noodles and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what hippo tastes like. They said a little stronger than beef. I could go for that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, just because they're wild animals doesn't mean it's terrible.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Could be delicious.
Yeah. Okay, so staying on the topic of wild animals, I have a video I would like you to see and have some questions about this.
I've seen this before.
Yeah. So I don't think that there's much to this because I don't think there's any sound, obviously. But
No, I think I can hear him eating, can't you?
yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, he's enjoying that. Yeah. And what is? You can stop. Is that a baby?
You know, I don't know. It's a black bear. So in North America, we basically have two types of bears. We have, well, I shouldn't say just two types because I guess northern Canada would also have polar bears. But in the United States, we have two types of bears. We have grizzly bears and black bears, and that is the smaller of the two.
Okay.
Grizzly bears can get up to like 1,400 pounds. I think these things can get up to around 600 and some pounds. But I think the females only get up to like 200 and some pounds.
Yeah.
They're still very dangerous.
Yeah. So when I first saw this video, I was like, what is going on over here? For one, like the thing didn't just show up out of nowhere. But I mean, I guess if it's walking up to you, you don't really want to run. Uh, or do you run from a bear?
Yeah, you know what? We talked about this a little bit before, and I used to go camping a lot and hiking and things like that, and I've watched several videos from state parks or federal parks, national parks, I should say, and they tell you if you're entering the park, you should deal with this type of wildlife, and these are the type of things you should do, and you should definitely not run.
Yeah.
Running could do two things: one, it could spook the animal, or two, sometimes they think it's a game.
Yeah.
And they'll chase you down just because, they're hunters. And sometimes that's how they play. Like, have you ever seen like a cat toy with like a mouse in the yard or something like that, and it's stalking it? It could be very similar, except for this thing is way stronger. And plus, if you run, where are you going to go?
Yeah.
You can't climb a tree because it can climb a tree.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm not sure if I just jump in a vehicle because it could smash through the window.
Yeah.
I think that they actually just did the correct thing,
Yeah.
which was stay calm, stay quiet, don't spook it. And she was covering the kid's face to because it just wants the food. For the most part, unless you're like around its cubs or unless it feels threatened, it won't attack you. At least that's just from what I've seen from these, safety videos from national parks and stuff. But with that being said, you just want to stay as calm as possible and let it do its thing and leave.
Yeah.
As long as it's not doing anything to you.
Yeah.
I mean, your other option would be to confront it, and I would say without a weapon, that's very dangerous.
Yeah.
And even with a weapon, it doesn't mean you're going to win.
Right, right.
And then the other part of it is there are laws. So if you're in a national park with a weapon and you just charge it, that's not a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's very, very intimidating because I think people's
Oh, I think it would scare the crap out of me.
yeah, and I don't know if like this video I would love to just know people's reaction to this because I think most people would be like, just get up and walk away or run or something, and not knowing like you never know what's going to happen. I think like you said, it's going to focus his attention on you now and or something.
I think they did the correct thing. You deal with cats differently than bears, but with bears, you just try to show that you're not going to do anything to them and that they're not in danger, and you don't try to make eye contact or any challenging moves, and you just try to stay out of their way.
Yeah.
So I honestly think I would do probably the same thing.
Yeah.
Although, I would be sitting there looking at the ground, waiting for it to go away, probably having a full panic attack.
Oh yeah.
Thinking, holy crap.
Yeah.
Soon as they go away, I'm going to slowly get up and I'm going to walk over to my car and I'm going to drive the hell away from here.
Yeah. Yeah. And see, I don't know, that just makes you not want to be out in nature, because I understand that like when you go to parks and you go camping and things like that, that you're going into these animals' territory. They're not there like unauthorized. It's where they live. So you're going into their territory. So you got to expect to, have, something approach you or that you might see those. And I don't know. It's a little worrisome sometimes.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I've been up to a lot of these parks where these animals are, but they're not. How do I say this? You're not seeing one every second. There's like I've been out there where, maybe we've been out there for a week and I saw like a bear twice or maybe 3 times. And once was like beside the road as we were driving by and it was in a field or something. The other problem is that with more and more visitors to these parks, they get more and more used to being around people.
Yeah.
And several times I've seen bears like in a campground and everyone's just going, there's a bear, back away. And everyone's like backing away and everyone's like, be quiet, back away, back away. And they'll be like warning people on the road, like, don't come this way, there's a bear. And then if you do see it, it's digging in the garbage.
Oh yeah.
So it knows It also knows about, like when you're out in that territory, you never put food inside your tent. You never put it inside anything that you don't want to get attacked.
Yeah.
Which is why you have like these bear barrels where it's just like a plastic container with some type of loop or hook on it where you can attach it to a rope. And you're actually supposed to throw the rope up in the tree and then pull it a good like 10 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
So that the bear just can't get to it.
Oh.
Because if there's a garbage can full of food and then your food is hanging out of their reach, they're going to go for the garbage can.
Yeah.
But if you put it in your tent, then you're apt to like, they'll come by in the middle of the night and look for it. And then you're in there and you get real hurt.
Yeah.
And the other thing is a lot of people don't think about this, but when you're camping or in an area like that, you have to also think about stuff that smells like food, even if it's not food. So one of the things we always talked about was like, whatever your bathroom supplies went in with the food.
Oh, yeah.
Because you have like peppermint toothpaste, that smells like food.
Yeah.
If you have like some type of shampoo that smells like berries or fruit or something,
Right.
they're going to think that's food. So you don't want any, in fact, you shouldn't even be wearing scent like that because that's going to track them to you.
Yeah.
You should just not do that.
Yeah. That's good advice. Man.
I've definitely, I've never had a bear problem when I was camping, but there's been several times where I'm pretty sure it was either a skunk or a raccoon or something. This was in Wisconsin. And I remember what we did is we weren't in bear country. So we kept our food in a big cooler that we could roll around. And we put what's called a cam strap over it, which is just like a tie-down strap that holds like thousands of pounds. So there's like no way they're going to be able to. You got to push the button and you got to pull the thing, and otherwise you're not getting it open. And animals don't know how to do that. And then the other thing is that we would take our garbage, and we had just a bag of it. So I tied it to a rope, and then I threw it up in the rope up in the tree, and I suspended it like 10 feet off the ground. And I tied we had these 2 pans that we would use for like boiling water to make coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
And they had like a little hook on the end, and I put those around the rope. And in the middle of the night, I was woken up to the pans clanging back and forth. And I looked outside and I shined a flashlight, and there was something up in the tree, and it was trying to pull the rope.
Yeah.
And so at that point, I just screamed, "Get out of here!" And it took off running, and I was like, I don't want to clean up garbage.
Yeah.
All right. So one of the things I wanted to talk about, you've got a couple kids. Let me ask, did you guys, well, I shouldn't say a couple, 3, but did you guys ever do anything for a gender reveal party? Gender reveal anything?
No.
Okay. And how do you feel about them?
I feel like they've gotten a little bit out of control.
I'm sure that a lot of people in the comments will say, Mike, you don't have kids, so maybe you're not one to talk. But here's my problem. There's been so many over the top things that have happened. People have died.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people have died.
Yeah.
There was, what was it? Was it 2021 where that, and what was it called? The El Dorado wildfire was started by a gender reveal thing. They had made some explosive. There have been plenty of people that have made explosives and gotten hurt. There were plane crashes.
Yep.
There's been house fires. People have been like maimed and injured. And my question is for what? Because from my perspective, I don't give 2 craps what kind of kid you're having. As long as it's healthy and you guys are happy, I don't care. So really, who's this party for? I feel like it's for the people who are having the kid.
Yeah.
And it sounds real narcissistic to me.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh yeah, he made a big explosive and we're all gonna go outside and shoot a flaming arrow at it. It's like, why?
Yeah.
I honestly don't get it. Can you explain it to me?
Well, I mean, I can't really because I haven't done that, but I guess when you finally know like the gender of the baby, that's a big deal because most people are like, oh, depending on whatever you want to.
But
Yeah,
it's a big deal to the parents.
yeah, it's a big deal to the parents and maybe some of the family. Maybe like to the
Yeah, but enough to blow stuff up.
Yeah, I don't know. They're just trying to be creative. So they're like, instead of just saying, "Hey, we're having a boy," they want to do something where it's like, somebody else finds out and they surprise the parents.
I don't know. As far as I'm concerned with these gender reveal parties and all the accidents and all the people that have been maimed and killed and all the property damage that has happened. and I will tell you, the creator of the so-called gender reveal party, Jenna, and I've got her name here, but I'm going to probably butcher it. It's like Canvendis. I'm probably saying that wrong.
Yeah.
Even she says that people should stop.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like here's how the public should deal with this. If you have a gender reveal party where you blow up anything, when the kid is born, it gets taken away from you. Because if you can't make the correct decisions not to like maim or kill or whatever your family members and friends or to not burn the neighborhood down, then what kind of parent are you going to be? You're already not making good decisions.
Yeah.
Am I going too far?
I don't know. Maybe that's a little too far. But I mean, I feel like maybe we should just put a stop to it,
Yeah,
like,
that'd be nice.
Somehow make it, illegal or anything like that.
Well, making explosives is illegal.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I know. That's not really the answer either, because now that gender reveal parties have gone so far, now there's no limit. People aren't going to stop. People are always going to find some new creative way, even though there was a pilot that died from, people are going to have the idea that won't happen to them. They're going to take these precautions or whatever, and then keep having these gender reveal parties. So I don't know if there's much that can be done aside from maybe saying like, if your gender reveal party goes wrong, then yes, you have to face these consequences.
Okay, I'm going to make a stance right now and set an example. I'm not going to any of them.
Yeah.
So if you and your new wife
Yeah.
decide to have a kid
Yeah.
and you decide to have a gender reveal party,
Yeah.
don't even tell me about it.
Which I don't think either one of us would be willing to do that. Or
I don't know. I talked to her about this before, and she kind of seems like the type of person that might be into it. So you might have to start campaigning right now on how bad it is.
Yeah. Okay. I'll keep that in mind because, Before we get into this, I guess my question for you would be like, have you thought about your mortality?
Yeah.
And like, have you had an expectation of like how long you'd like to live or anything like that? Or like, are these type of things kind of morbid to think about?
No, I've thought about it. I want to live as long as like I'm feeling good.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I don't mean to. I'm not sending out any warnings or anything. I'm just saying that in another whatever years, if I'm really screwed up, like I remember my grandparents, and towards the end they were kind of like, "Enough's enough."
Yeah. Okay.
And as a kid, you were like,
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't really a kid. It was just like,
Yeah.
not that long ago. But I'm like, don't talk like that. But then you just kind of think about it, and you're like,
Like, would you like to live to be like 100?
oh, just put okay.
Like-
Now, are you saying perfect health, or are you
Well,
saying with all the crap that comes along with
I
being
mean, I
100?
guess with everything that comes with it, because
Probably not.
no.
Now, perfect health, sure.
Okay.
In fact, I'd like to roll back the clock a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm in my mid 40s. If we could roll it back to, let's say, 30, that'd be great.
Oh, okay.
And then just maybe immortal.
Oh,
I'd be okay with that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, in this video that a little clip we're about to watch, this news or this magazine put out a 100 ways to live to 100.
Okay.
Okay. So first we're going to see this video and what this
Is
created.
it partying and drinking and smoking?
Unfortunately, that is not on the list.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay, I think it's borderline insane to want to work this hard to live this long because have you seen 80? But nevertheless, let's look at the list. I think humans are making it increasingly more difficult to be nicer, so I feel like that's counterproductive at this point. Have you read the news? Absolutely not. That's an easy no. Oh, No. I have ADHD and I love leaving public places very quickly, so this works. Easy, no? Cut the sugar, cut the shit. How about that? That's an easy one. Go to hell? Smile like you mean it. I don't want to do this all the time. So I gotta fake it sometimes? No. I've always thought people who do that are crazy, so no. I'm sorry. What? Be selfish for my own gain at the expense of my child? That seems very healthy. This requires money, so thank God you told me to be rich. Oh, thank God. That's a brow wiper right there. So work yourself to death. That's a very good one. Shut the fuck up. Okay? Just shut the fuck up. The person who wrote this article is the same kind of person who says stuff like, stop worrying. Oh, okay. I didn't know it was that easy. I thought I had to worry. So, thank you. Immediately thought of 3 days grace.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I have some anxiety issues,
Yeah.
which I try to deal with, you know, but I've had people who don't have anxiety issues. They're like, everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I know that. This is out of my control.
Yeah.
If I could shut it off, I would.
Yeah.
You know how annoying it is when I start to have like anxiety?
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather just not have anxiety.
Yeah. Yeah. I know those things don't help when they're like, yeah.
And I'm doing everything I can, but that's not how it works.
Yeah. Okay. So real quick. So, I don't know. I think some things like this are funny too, because there's obviously things on this list, which I don't know if they expect you to do all these things, or maybe they're just trying to say like, you know, try to do most of them. But some of the things like don't eat takeout. Well, you know, because
What? Any kind of takeout?
yeah, don't eat
Because there's
takeout.
healthy places that have takeout.
Yeah. No, eat at home, cook at home. And then like this one,
What if you're working? You don't have time.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe should have planned and
That one was be rich. So
yeah.
I guess private chef, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
So you can
that'd be nice.
take the lunch with you to work. And then this one says take a stand. So do not sit down. You're supposed to like stand up and as much as you can and do all your work. No sitting down. Like don't sit at the
I
desk.
kind of get that. I'll tell you, I do feel better when I'm standing more.
Yeah.
And I've got a standing desk.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
And I've got a standing desk. And I like, but after a while, especially when I start to get tired, I'm like, oh my, just got to sit down for a little while.
Yeah. So here's the one that I find funny though, is on this list, it's number 20. It says marry someone younger.
Oh.
Okay. So how is that even possible? Because somebody has got to be older. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so both people can't be younger than each other. So come on now.
So, thinking of you saying marry somebody younger, just wondering, how old are you?
Do we need to get into all that?
Yeah.
I'm 44.
And how's your wife?
I don't know, 35.
I think 36.
Yeah.
Okay. That's weird that I know that. Now watch, we're both wrong and she'll be like in the comments. Screw you guys. So you've already got one on the list is what?
Yeah.
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 How's that working out for you?
I'm good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good delay there.
Yeah.
As you stutter.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm on my way to 100 easy.
Yeah. A lot of those, I don't know. They felt like kind of like either common sense or nonsense. Like, sure, don't work yourself to death and take more vacation, but that's not how. If your job doesn't pay very much and you need to work the hours to pay the bills,
Yeah.
you don't really have a lot of choices there.
Right. Yeah.
But I found it funny. It wasn't like it said walk fast, but how about exercise and diet?
So, and the thing is too, there's a couple of them on there like that are kind of could be combined as one, because there is an exercise like 100 and so many hours a week, a walk one, all those kind of into the same category. And then this one right here, I feel like this one's just a cop out, because this one says number 20 or number 24 says to drink coffee, and then number 25 says but don't go crazy. Well, that's not really two separate things there. Like,
yeah.
So okay, I'm done with that.
That feels it feels a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was something I came across, and I got to tell you, I found it the way I find most things. I was watching YouTube shorts, and I was flipping through, and it came up, and I thought, what is that? Is this like a conspiracy? You know, what's going on here? And what it is I saw a YouTube short that said that there was a Stonehenge under Lake Michigan.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
Okay, so up by Traverse City, there is an island. I believe it's called Beaver Island, or now I'm getting confused. I believe it's Beaver Island.
Okay.
And it's just out. It's underwater, but it's just it's in that area. And this is what it looks like.
Okay. Nice. I mean, that's creepy as hell.
Yeah, and they think that it's like thousands and thousands of years old.
Yeah.
Which begs the question of, there must not have been water there when it was built?
Yeah, I guess.
Because I think it's in 40 feet of water.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's a little weird.
Yeah. Very much.
But evidently there's been
And
Stonehenges all over the world, not just
right.
in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there was one found in Spain, but Lake Michigan?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we're just a couple miles from there right now. Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
we're not that far north, but
Right.
I don't know. I kind of grew up around the lake and I just thought, what?
Yeah, that is pretty interesting. And to if it, I mean, obviously you wouldn't build it underwater. So to know that it wasn't always covered with water, like, and that, you know, it rose that much, or, you know, like, how did it end up underwater?
Yeah, I don't know. Evidently it's about 40 feet underwater. So it's not even that deep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And when I first started Googling it, everyone was like, this is conspiracy, this is scam, blah, blah, blah. But I'm looking at the anthropology page of Michigan State University. So it literally anthropology.msu.edu. And then there's an article, and it straight up says, yeah, this is a real thing.
Yeah.
And when I hear something from Michigan State University, I think, okay, it's not a scam.
Right.
When I just randomly read it off a website, I think,
you're like,
"There's skepticism here. Come on.
Yeah.
But they believe it could be at least 10,000 years old,
Wow.
which just makes me think it's really well preserved for 10,000 years old and being underwater.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I've lived here my whole life, and I've never heard of it.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, I guess I spent 20 years in another state, but
Yeah.
this portion in the beginning of my life was here, and I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if it's new, or, I mean, have you heard of this?
I've never heard of that. I mean, I haven't been in this state that long, but no, I haven't heard of that. And I'm not sure if many people in this state have. I feel like if so, it would kind of be more of a, which can't be a tourist attraction because that's not easy to get to, but somehow maybe more attention brought to it.
You know, I'm just flipping through some of these websites right here that's talking about it. And so evidently it was only discovered in 2007.
Oh, okay.
So not that long ago. And it was discovered by a professor that works for Northwestern University of Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
It was him and one of his colleagues that found it.
Nice.
Now they're saying 12 meters of water. So is that right? The other guy said 40 feet. I'm trying to do the conversion in my head, and I'm not good at math right now. Oh, okay. 12 meters is 39.3701 feet.
So, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. So 40 feet under the water, or 12 meters if you are metric.
Yeah.
But man,
Yeah, that's pretty nice. I like that.
now I'm starting to wonder what else is hidden down there.
Yeah, and true. I mean, we have bodies of water all over the place that should be explored somehow. We just don't have, that much capability to go through,
I mean, there are
searching underwater.
tons of things in Lake Michigan that have sunk,
Mm-hmm.
but those are all man-made things. Well, I guess this is man-made too, but
Yeah.
these are all recent things, I
Right.
should say, in the last couple hundred years.
Mm-hmm.
But something ancient, that kind of blows me away.
Yeah.
I mean, we do have a lot of ancient things in the United States, but a lot of them are like mounds and older sculptures, and well, I wouldn't say a full pyramid per se, but there's like these structures that have been made out of rock and dirt and yeah. It's not like what you see like in Mexico or well, no, Mexico's outside the United States, but I was thinking, it's North America. They actually have full on like, pyramids and things. But this is the first thing that's kind of in the area that we live in. I thought, are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's pretty awesome though.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last thing that I wanted to talk about today is this article that's fairly new. This is just happened within the last day or so, couple days.
Okay.
Where at the Iowa Capitol there was a satanic temple display vandalized beyond repair. So I know you're somewhat familiar with this because we
just
talked
call
about
me out.
Yeah, well, because we talked about that a little bit, but
yeah, I've read up on this, and what it is it's not people who believe in Satan. It's not people who they're not religious. They're kind of anti-religious. And the deal is that they feel as if the religious community in the United States, they're organized, and if you a lot of people will go to church every Sunday, and so they have a community where they're surrounded by like-minded people, and then they all, you can pass the word and talk about things in church and say, I don't agree with this law, and here's why, and I think we should do something about it. Kind of get your congregation or your flock behind it.
right.
But if you are not religious and you don't believe in any of that, you're kind of just scattered out there. There's no real organization. There are atheist groups and things like that
Right.
that you could belong to, but most people don't. And they don't get any exemptions like religions do,
right.
like churches and organizations. So this thing was formed, so I've read up on this, and it's basically atheists saying we want a spot to congregate and communicate, and all we have to do is follow these couple simple rules, and we can be deemed a church.
Yeah.
But they did it in a way where they called it the satanic church, which is kind of a middle finger to organized religion.
Right. Yeah, because there's a lot of especially Christian organizations that that's their anti.
Yeah, and that's how they got the idea. We are anti that. That's what they were basically saying.
Yeah.
But it ticks some people off.
Yeah.
Now, I think if you're going to act like a child,
Yeah.
and you're going to get so upset that you're so offended, and all you can do is be ran by your emotions and throw a temper tantrum and destroy people's private property,
Yeah.
I think you should go to jail.
Yeah.
And I don't really care if they found it offensive or not. I think that the whole reason why this organization is created is because they find what other people are doing for their religious beliefs offensive.
Yeah.
And how their policies get pushed through and laws and stuff get changed to accommodate their belief structure, which is, based on their religion.
Yeah.
And people feel screwed over. So they basically did something that said, I'm the opposite of you. But I think property destruction and violence and stuff like that is just out of the question.
Right.
I think he should be kicked out and go to jail.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know if that's even going to happen. Just because of recent events, like he was, fined. But I think that there was like a crowdfunding that raised up so much money. So whatever fines he was assessed already covered by that, and then there's been other politicians that kind of come to his back, which I think that you can already expect that because of what's happened in this country.
I think that's what they were trying to outline with, what is it called again? The satanic church?
Yeah.
I think that's what they're trying to say. Look, everyone else is grouped together. And so people act like they've got their back. But
yeah,
the whole point of freedom of speech in this country was that you should be able to say anything you want without anyone trying to stop you. But at the same time, I feel like people who rally for that, when they hear something that they don't like, they feel like it's a call to arms. And
Right.
and I don't agree. If you're allowed to say whatever you want to say, then these people are allowed to say whatever they want to say.
Yeah.
If you're allowed to practice your religion in the way that you see fit, then they should be able to do the same.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that's been missed a lot in recent years is like the idea of like religious freedom in this country. You know, this is not a Christian nation, so you should have, you know, the ability to practice whatever religion you want and not feel any like flack for that. You know, even if it is the Satanic Temple or whatever. But
And the fact that everyone's getting behind him just kind of proves the point. Imagine if it wasn't the Satanic Temple. Imagine if it was another religion.
Yeah.
Then I don't think people would get behind him because they'd be really eaten alive in the public opinion space, you know, on social media or on conventional media or wherever.
Yeah. And I think, and the other thing about like the religious freedom is also like freedom from religion. Like you have the right to be away from whatever religion. You know, if you don't want to be affected by religion, then you have that right. But it feels like those things are not being, you know, considered.
Yeah, and you know, I'm just thinking of, you know, I was saying another religion, but let's just say it's the other way around. Let's say if the people of the Satanic Temple, I was saying church before, but it's Satanic Temple. Let's say they went and vandalized the church.
Oh yeah, then it'd be a huge deal.
Yeah, then there would be public, probably outcry.
Yeah,
and how ridiculous this was, and it would probably lead to more violence.
Yeah,
and I think that should be the point right there. Do unto others as wish to be done to themselves,
right.
not damage other people's property.
Yeah,
even if you don't agree with them.
Yeah, true. Yeah, and I mean, obviously, once again, like you're free to practice whatever religion you want to, and if that's, you know, what works for you and to make you a better person, go ahead. But like you said, I mean, no need to take it to this step. Well, let us know what you think about you know, this or any other topic that we covered over here, and do not forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.